Hey, what's up guys, it's Turbo here, and I've been grinding 12 CS2 accounts for almost a year now, and we've been trying to work our way up from nothing to a knife just from the drops. And lately there's been a lot of talk about all the bot farms that just farm drops weekly. The people running those are just absolute scumbags, let's be real. And I'm so happy Valve is taking a more proactive approach and they banned 1 million bot accounts, because what they do waters down the drops for everybody else, all the actual humans who play the game. So I started this challenge as kind of a way to give them a big middle finger to really prove that it is possible to go from drops to a knife without using bots, without cheating, just doing it the way that Valve intended, although at a slightly higher level, because I mean 12 accounts, it's a grind. But with all that being said, I think it's time to start from the very beginning of this journey. Right after a quick word from our sponsor, Skins Monkey. Got a Steam inventory full of trash tier skins you never use? This video is sponsored by Skins Monkey, the fastest and easiest way to turn your junk into some fresh new play skins. Connect your Steam account, select the skins you want to trade. You can also use code TURBO to claim up to a $5 bonus. They have a massive selection of skins and plenty of options to deposit. Code TURBO gets you an extra 5%. There's also freebies where you can enter giveaways and 24/7 live support if you run into any issues. Check out my Skins Monkey link down below to support the channel. So the journey begins actually about a year ago, even before we started doing this weekly short series. And I was just kind of minding my own business. I did have a couple alt accounts, and on one of them, I ended up getting a weapon case 1. Now, obviously, just getting a drop that expensive is just so incredibly rare, and I honestly couldn't believe it. So I made a bunch of Steam accounts and I got started right away. And obviously, due to Valve's TOS, you're not allowed to use someone else's account, so I had to make all the accounts myself, added some balance, and just bought Prime, and that's pretty much all the money I spent. Week 1 went way better than expected. I got an Op Acheron and an SSG Acid Fade, and obviously we're not going to go through every single drop because we've gotten well over 500. But if you guys do want to see every drop, I'll have a playlist in the description of every drop we've gotten. In the first week though, I kind of realized that this was going to be really time consuming, and we were also going to have to like min-max a lot of different things to really optimize it. So let's get to the most frequently asked questions that I get asked all the time. So how long does it actually take? Honestly, it really depends. As long as you get the weekly challenge XP, typically it can take around like an hour and a half to 2 hours per account. I made another video going into much more detail on exactly how the XP system works, so I'll also have that linked in the description down below. So for someone that's new to this, can you get high quality weapon skins out of the weekly drop? Not the cases, the skins itself. Yes, you can, but it's honestly kind of rare. 90% of the time, you'll probably get like a gray, maybe a light blue, sometimes a regular blue, but purples and pinks are definitely very uncommon. But if you get yourself a factory new pink from any of the collections, typically they're around a couple $100, give or take. Now, also when you claim the drops, just make sure to check the wear of the skins, because even some of the light blues in factory new can be worth a couple dollars. Also check stuff like patterns, floats, anything like that. Appreciate the comment. How bro gets 7 drops in 1 week? Technically it was 12. It all just comes down to having multiple accounts and actually playing on them every week. With multiple accounts, it's definitely a lot harder to get good trust factors, so there's overall going to be a lot more cheater lobbies, so I just play a lot of deathmatch. Bro is stealing our luck. Nah, for real, get him. Bro, it's just a numbers game with like over 500 drops, like at least one of them has got to be good, right? Sadly, you can't get it anymore, and this is actually referring to the rare case drops, because a couple months ago, Valve secretly removed the ability to get rare case drops from your weekly drops, and I think it's just mainly due to the fact that because of like all the lawsuits and everything that's happening all over the world, they're slowly phasing out cases in favor of like terminals. And obviously it does suck that we don't have these opportunities anymore, but there's a silver lining, and that's some of the skins, especially like the factory new pinks, they're actually more valuable than the cases when they still were dropping. So it's not all bad news. I'm sorry, but how does this work? So the drop system in CS2 is very simple. Basically, all you need is an account with Prime status, so like 15 bucks, give or take. And every Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on your time zone, the drops reset. And pretty much all you have to do is just gain the amount of XP you need to level up, and as soon as you level up, you get to choose between 2 of 4 drops. You're always guaranteed a case or a terminal, I guess now. You can also get any combination of skins, graffitis, or charm removal kits. As a rule of thumb, also, you don't want to just pick whatever. Like, I think it's good to check the prices to make sure that you're getting the most expensive skin. Now, a few things to look out for are, I guess, heart graffitis. Like, there's certain graffitis that are worth more than some of the grays, but also some of the grays, if they're factory new, can be worth a little bit more. Just make sure to check the market, check the floats, balance. Because if you get a crazy skin with like the #1 lowest or highest float, you could sell that for an insane amount of money. So about 11 months ago, someone actually got the lowest float skin. It was like a Mac 10 bronzer. It was 9 zeros followed by a 1. So it became the lowest float skin in Counter-Strike. And it ended up selling for 45,000 US dollars. So if you can get 10 zeros or more, maybe you could sell it for even more than that. Of course, massive thank you to everybody who left a comment. And of course, thank you so much for watching the video until this point. And now we're going to get back to the journey. So as the weeks went on, I kept collecting the drops and I kept trading them to a single account called Nothing to a Knife Challenge. But I was mostly just sitting on like either some Steam balance or I was sitting on just a bunch of skins kind of doing nothing. So once I built things enough, I started to use some of the Steam balance to invest. I picked up some discontinued cases and then I also picked up 5 armory passes to grind. And that was like 3 days of just deathmatch hell. It was just non-stop deathmatch all day, all the time. And I encountered so many bots doing that. It was just ridiculous. But I was on a very strict time limit because that was right after Valve announced that the gallery case and the graphic design collection is being discontinued from the armory. So I had to act fast and I redeemed as much as I could. But waiting until the last minute was kind of a mistake because obviously when they made the announcement, a lot of the prices went crazy. But when you redeem something from the armory, it's not marketable or not tradable for 7 days. But as the months went on, Valve released a couple different updates and they changed a few things in the weekly drop collections. So notably the Ascent, Boreal, and Radiant collections dropped. And at first they were a massive opportunity, but of course over time, as supply skyrocketed, the prices did go down. Getting those like early on was definitely a big opportunity. And then more recently, the Harlequin and the Achroma collections came out. I kid you not, I ended up getting a field tested party animal. And the next week we got an Op the End. And I pretty much sold them as soon as I possibly could. So I was pretty much just in this cycle for basically the entire time of just collecting drops, selling them for Steam balance, investing the Steam balance in like different things, whether it be stickers, skins, cases, or even armory passes. So as of the time I'm recording this, I got my 47th week of drops and we've gotten give or take around 560 drops. So just over 1,100 individual items. And this takes up a lot of inventory space. Plus all the investments I made for like discontinued skins, cases, all that stuff. I ended up having to buy a storage unit because it was just, the inventory was getting way too full. And when it came to actually selling the cases, I had to be very strategic. For the first like 20-ish weeks, I was an absolute moron and I sold everything instantly. But then again, at that point, the prices were still a lot higher. And then I started to adopt like a mentality of just, why don't I just hold on to these and sell them when the prices are actually at a reasonable amount? Why sell at Dreams and Nightmares for $2 profit when we could sell it for $3 profit, right? So I was pretty much just in an endless cycle of collecting the drops, holding on to some, selling others, making side investments, and just slowly trying to build up the Steam balance while also spending everything on armory passes to get more stars. It was like 1 step back, 2 steps forward. 47 weeks later, we were sitting on $177 in Steam balance. I had some more stuff on the market, of course, and I was ready to get the knife. So I went on the market. Obviously, I didn't want to buy the knife for the highest price possible, so I set a bunch of reasonable buy orders. Ultimately, I did have to increase the price just a little bit because other people were trying to snipe it. You know, I had to outbid them by a little bit. But after 47 weeks, 1,100 hours of grinding the game, countless cheater lobbies, countless bot lobbies, losing motivation from just it being an absolute grind. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce that we ended up getting a Bowie knife freehand factory new. So I quite literally went from free CS2 drops all the way up to a free CS2 knife. And we're not done yet because eventually I want to get a better knife and I want to get a pair of gloves and play skins. Like there's so much more I want to do. I also want to make more investments. So I want to give a massive thank you to anybody who's followed along for the journey because this wouldn't have been possible. I wouldn't have had the motivation if it wasn't for you guys and all your support. So thank you. Like you right there. Appreciate you. Anyways, boys, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe with the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's Turbo and I'm out. And we're doing a huge armory opening when the update drops. Peace.